Hey hun, I'm Chloe and this is the fish tutorial. My mission is to share my passion for pole dancing and make pole dancing easy to learn and accessible. This is the 16th video of the intermediate pole trick tutorial series. In order to maximize your training out of all the videos, I highly recommend you to start from the very first video of this playlist, as the tricks will be a progression of the video before. The fish is such a pretty trick. Your prerequisite for this move is your bottom hand viva tutorial and also your invert and also outside leg hang tutorial. So please make sure you watch that before you try this. This video is mirrored for your ease of learning. I'll have a red wristband on my right wrist and my right ankle to indicate the right side of my body if you do get confused of the directions. This trick tutorial is created for you for information and educational purposes only, and for you to enjoy learning pole dancing from the comfort of your own home. Please participate at your own risk and don't work beyond your capability, and seek help or spotting when necessary. For any health concerns, please make sure you seek professional medical advice. Please also to make sure you warm up your body before you start this video. I have a warm-up depending on your level under each playlist so that you can try that warm-up before you do these tricks. If you enjoy this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up so that I know to create more of these kinds of videos, and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't yet so that you are notified every single time I upload a video. If you're looking to further your pole journey and combining tricks and dance together, then consider subscribing to my online learning platform, Pole Art Vault, where you'll be learning tricks and dance together and learning an entire routine with combos and dance mixed. For further information, you can find the link in the description. Alrighty, without further ado, let's get into the fish tutorial. Now let's get into our conditioning. Now just to preface this, for conditioning today, I won't be going through any specific conditioning related to our bottom handed viva or our straddle invert or our outside leg hang. So if you need anything specific to that, make sure you watch that tutorial before you start this one. Now we're gonna work on our leg kicks so that we can work on those nice leg extensions once we get into the move. So we are going to stand on the left side of the pole behind. So I'm gonna face the pole, and if there is a line, horizontal line here, then I'm a little further backwards. I'm grabbing the pole at inside hand at shoulder height and outside hand in a pistol grip, nice and low. It might be just around like calf area or your ankle. This is going to depend on how long your torso is, legs, etc. Now, just make sure that there's nothing around you so that you don't kick that. I'm ensuring that I'm able to kick my leg backwards. So, when you're kicking your leg backwards, make sure that you squeeze your leg, point your toe, and you're gonna look towards that top leg. Now, when we're doing these kicks, we are not coming into a closed split or a squared hip where both of your hips are facing down. I'm going to turn my hip out to the side and I'm going to kick my leg to the side. This is going to help you with your leg extension once we come into a fish. So remember, rather than closing your hip, both of your hips facing down to the floor, open your hip to the side and kick backwards. All right, so let's do 10 kicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Well done. Let's try this on the other side. Now on the other side, I'm going to start pointing the toe that is on the floor just so that I can start working on my calf muscles. That helps me point and also just work through any sort of like leg grips. So if you want to do that with me, feel free to. Inside hand at shoulder height and then outside hand nice and low. And come onto your tippy toes and kick. 10, 9, make sure you're opening your hip. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2, and last one. Well done. That's your conditioning done. Alrighty, now let us get into our fish. Now I'll be demonstrating 2 entries for you today. One including of a standing knee hook, and then the other side is from a straddle into an outside leg hang. Now remember that you can always do this from a side sit dropping down without inverting. So if you want to watch that tutorial, you can do that entry as well. Now this is what a fish looks like. Alrighty, so let's break down the fish together. Now on one side, I'm going to show you how to do it from a standing knee hook, dropping it down into a bottom hand viva. So, I'm starting on the right side of the pole. I'm coming onto my tippy toes, inside leg comes nice and high. Outside hand comes nice and low into a split grip. I'm going to bring my inside leg around into a bottom hand viva. Now make sure you slide your top hand a little bit low, bend your bottom leg first in a passe so that your toe is pointing towards the pole. Then I'm going to bring this leg to the pole. You can either put your bridge of your foot onto the pole, so bring your leg behind, or you can keep it in front. That's totally up to you. Turn your chest away from the pole, slide your outside hand a little further down, and there is your fish. To come out, hook that outside leg back, extend that bottom leg, both hands come above, stepping out, then fully out. Well done. Let's try this on the other side, and then on the other side, I'll show you how to do it from an invert outside leg hang. So, we're coming into an invert. Outside leg hang. Now, bottom hand comes into a pistol grip, push the pole away from you, bottom leg extends. You're gonna bend your bottom leg so that your toe is facing the knee. Outside hand goes behind the knee, extend that top leg, hook it onto the bridge of your foot, and extend that leg, or you can keep it in front. To come out, hook that leg back, extend that bottom leg. You can either pull up or come into a Superman, whatever you prefer. Ooh, these leggings are so grippy, I love it. Well done. So there is your fish on both sides. Now let's go through some tips and common mistakes. Our first common mistake is not watching your invert and outside leg hang tutorial. Now remember that if your foundation is really shaky, it's gonna be really hard for you to stack anything on top of it, because it's like Jenga when you start, putting all these blocks on top of each other, and then if the foundation is really shaky, then everything's just gonna crumble. So make sure that if you feel like your invert, your outside leg hang is still shaky, watch those tutorials. Watch the bottom hand viva tutorial if you struggle with any sort of pain, or if you feel like it just doesn't fit correctly, watch those. Now, having said that, once you come into your fish, you are in your bottom hand viva. Remember, you need to bend your bottom leg first. Common one is I see a lot of people trying to extend that top leg first. You can do it at the same time, but just ensure that if you were to, bend your bottom leg, then straighten, or do it at the same time. Now, in order for your top leg to hook, your top hand has to slide a little further down. Now, I'll show you what I mean. If my top hand is too high here, what happens is your arm is going to trap where your leg is supposed to go. So you want to slide this top hand, the hand that's closer to the ceiling, so that it's behind the knee, so that you're able to hook that leg either onto the bridge of your foot or in front of the pole. Now, remember that your exit is always as important as your entry. So remember, always reverse what you've done. You come into a bottom-handed viva first, then you can either step out of it, or you can either, pull up, end up in like an aerial front hook or a back hook. You can always do that as well. Now, in order for you to hook your foot onto the pole, you're gonna have to turn your chest away from the pole. This is another common mistake, because commonly what happens is once you get here, you wanna start turning away from the pole, but think about looking towards your top leg and then turn your chest as you hook. And that's gonna help you get that pole into the correct position. So again, remember that pushing your chest away from the pole, that's gonna help you sort of like open through your hip and fully extend that back leg. So just make sure that you're always turning your chest. Now, as always, remember that grip points are super, super crucial. Just to recap, our grip points are your top hand true grip, bottom hand pistol grip. So you're coming into your full split grip position. Now, when you're going into it initially, when you're in your bottom hand viva, you're obviously gonna have your outside knee pit on the pole, inside hip. Now, once you come into your fish, it's going to be your inner thigh, just around the top of your thigh, and also the side of your knee and the bridge of your foot or the back of your foot. So remember that all these grip points are going to be really crucial on both sides. So grip up if you need to, get something drying if you've got sweaty skin. If you've got sweaty skin, then make sure you get something a little bit more drying on your skin, because that's going to help you a lot. I have grippy knee pads today, which is obviously going to be really helpful for me to grip onto the pole. I usually have dry skin, so it's been such a massive savior. Now, if you struggle to extend your top leg, remember that you can always bend that top leg as well. So once you come into position, you can keep your top leg bent, or obviously if you want to extend, you can fully extend, but you can just bend your top leg as such. And that is all your tips and common mistakes. Now, I have a little tip for you today, and it's around setting goals. Now, you would probably consider yourself around an intermediate pole dancer, or maybe you wanted to start really building your foundations here. So you could be an advanced student that is honing in on their intermediate level tricks, or maybe you're an instructor here and you'd like to learn and see the breakdown of how each tricks have been taught. Now, goal setting is such a crucial part of what I do and in my career, and also because I'm a competitor myself, I compete. I also make content, I manage the studio, and I manage instructors as well. So in every, I guess, facet of what I do, I have goals that I want to achieve within the year, in a few years, and even like 5 years, depending on what I'm working on and the project. Now, I find this really crucial because I can kind of have a map of where I currently am and where I want to be and how realistic that is. Now, say for example, give learning tricks a goal. Remember that you can always kind of set yourself goals every week. And if you're not familiar with setting goals, always start small as you can, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself by saying, oh, I'm going to achieve the Rainbow Machenko in a few months. That's going to be a huge goal, and it almost, I mean, I guess it depends on the person. If you're really motivated by setting a really high bar for yourself, go for it. Set that huge goal. Now, if you're not super confident in feeling like you can achieve the goals, if you start small, like, oh, I'm going to learn 2 tricks in 1 week, or I'm gonna learn 3 tricks in a week, I think that's gonna be really realistic. You feel like you're achieving things, and that will boost your confidence on feeling like you can achieve goals and set proper expectations for yourself. So remember, goal setting it's almost one of those things that's like a little bit hard to think about. But if you need any help, I'm always here for you. Remember that this trick library is going to be a progression. So think about learning maybe 2-3 tricks a session, warm up, go through all the conditioning and then the tricks, and that's going to help you feel a little bit more accomplished as well. Thank you so much for joining me in the fish tutorial today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you in the very next tutorial. Bye! I'm really struggling today. I feel like I can't talk. On a side note, my nail is still not fixed. I have a competition soon, so I'm hoping to like fix it then, but it's a bit too early to fix it now, you know what I mean? Anyways, first world problems.